different. We are going to provide an honest look at Ole Miss athletics, the fan, by the fan, and the fan. That is what we do. Hell be to me. I'm just kidding. Tune in for some Ole Miss sports news. We're going to give it to you straight. Yeah, right now. The podcast starts now. It happens now. Holy cow. Listen to me. It's starting. Well, it's going to start right about now. Good morning, good morning, good morning, and welcome to the POMcast on this Monday, January 25th. The first month of the year is almost gone, and we just keep on trucking along, just keep on trucking. Anyway, the Throwbacks were a success. The Throwbacks to 2001 team, Coach Rod Barnes, that made these Sweet 16s is 1-0 with a win over Texas A&M. There is a distinct style of play that is coming into the fold right now. And Ole Miss lost so much time early on due to the COVID shutdown that they're finally catching up on stuff that they should have caught normally in a normal, perfect world at the beginning of the SE slate. But there were lessons that need to still be learned, and everything. The non-conference slate wasn't extremely challenging. But this very long possessions, play stifling defense, it's honestly just the plan and the way forward for these guys right now. Because there is no sharpshooter. There's one coming. There's not one on the roster. You have to take into account and have to win games by preventing the others from analyticing to death. Threes and less for those that don't do that, which I am totally not a fan of. I think it has ruined college basketball. The heyday of college basketball was the 90s, probably. But analytics is slowly taking it towards the cliff, and I'm not the only one who feels that way. Baseball, they have done the same thing. Analytics is essentially killing the sport, and it just takes away playing for joy as opposed to what they're doing now. Those super analytics they've killed baseball and basketball now. They're coming for football, but I don't think football is the game. Analytics are really going to come into the fold. I think it's expected a lot like soccer. That's another sport that analytics won't affect. But Ole Miss beating Texas A&M 3-4. They have a chance to go on a little run, I think. And I mean, they have a really good team. They do. They're a talented team. They just have a team that was not allowed to gel, essentially, because of the COVID stuff. And then after that, they were behind the 8 ball, and you're trying to play catch up, and you're trying to play catch up, and they're better than their record states. They have more talent than the record states. But they got Arkansas Wednesday night at 8:30 on the SEC Network. I mean, that should be pretty good game. Arkansas is playing pretty well, but there's a lot of team that's just they're going down that analytic trap in order to win games. And jacking threes and making layups, and there'll be teams with 40 3-point shots in a game, and it's just not pleasing to the eye. Now, I will say this. Jill Jordan is a total throwback basketball player. I mean, his preference for the mid-range jumper is just something you don't see anymore. And it's pretty cool to look at. Anyway, we got started. You can follow me on Twitter at Stephen Willis. Hit us up on Facebook at facebook.com/POMcast. On YouTube, we're Positively Ole Miss. Hit the bell when you're notified when we stream. You can see now we're streaming now. And on Twitch, Positively Ole Miss, all one word. We've got the show is started to be built. It's pretty. Yeah, it's going better so far than I expected. Now, we'll have to do things like get the chroma key wall painted and things like that. We still have cameras to mount and to get the angle right. And I mean, we're expecting 3 cameras per show. We have basically our stand-up wall built. There's a picture of AJ and DK, and we got the board that we're going to draw plays and have little catchy messages, and it's cool. Autographed Eli Manning jersey, autographed McAllister. Coach cuts, offense playbooks. I mean, it's setting up and looking actually pretty cool. There's a flag from the Independence Bowl in 1993, which I'm very proud of. It's the one thing that has survived during all of this time frame. So, and I also have a bandana that might be older than that. If you knew that bandana has gone through, I mean, you'd be like, wow. And it's not like wear the bandana or something like that. It just pops up every now and then. Like this time when we moved, it popped up when it came. It's like that one. There it is. It never seems to disappear. But it's probably mid-70s. Ole Miss. Like I said, I got a Dan Moore print. That won't make a stand-up wall because AJ and DK took the position. And I mean, this looks really cool. Got a nice little metal Ole Miss up there. Got my media credentials. It looks great. And we're still a couple months away from doing that. We'll probably have some kind of a soft opening. So it should be fun. Stephen Willis, POMcast, stick on.
Only 10% of us enough daily exercise.
And that number is dropping.
Nearly 30% of them are overweight or obese. We spend 6 hours a day in front of the screen.
As a result, we now have a shorter life expectancy than our parents.
But give us a start in sports and never stop. Learn how at activelife.ca.
Hey, this is Stephen Willis from Positively Ole Miss. We're almost done with this break. We'll be back with information quite soon.
The military has been in every generation of my family, and so has VA. It wasn't easy for my dad after Vietnam, but VA, him and my mom, the home they'd always wanted. Michael's been coming to VA since World War II. They even helped him lay to rest one battle buddies from Normandy. And me, I've been their footsteps and served with pride. And now out of the military, the GI Bills help with school. Every generation of my family has served, and VA served us all.
POMcast, Stephen Willis, Monday morning. Thank you guys so much for joining. We're having a lot of fun down here in studio. First segment, we talked about Texas A&M, that game, the flag jerseys, the win, the style of play, why the struggles are happening right now. It's lack of a shooter, and you're just behind other teams. You had to close down the facility for 3 weeks. You're behind their teams. That's 6 games. Now, we were able to make those games up, but we're not able to make that practice time up. That's the problem. And through those reps, mentioned how skid coaches are. You lose that film. You lose that to make a decision. You want it to be confirmed. What you think, you want it to be confirmed by video at least 10 times or so before you actually make a decision one way or another. And that's just the way coaches have worked. That's the way they've always worked. And honestly, that's the way they always will work. But it's starting to even out. I mean, whenever you have a team like we have, you play defense because we don't have a shooter. We can't get into the shootout. So we have to defend real well. and defend their team like you would believe. Because that's going to make up at Romello and KJ go crazy. And then the guards, Jarkel Joyner and Devay Shuler, gives them a little bit of room to work. Now, they don't have necessarily three range. Shoot pretty good, but he's streaky. But Jarkel Joyner is more of a mid gap, believe it or not. He's a throwback guard. He's the one that'll shoot the 15-footer from the line, like Michael Jordan in the 82 national championship game. He's the type that would do. He's a throwback player. He's kind of fun to watch. And that's just the direction this team has gone in. Now, if they can beat Arkansas on Wednesday, I mean, it's all about stacking wins. Arkansas, they're 4-4, and it's time to start cooking with gas. I mean, Alabama's not a bad loss. Florida is going to be one that comes back and hates them because they were up with like 2 minutes to go in the game. A&M, I mean, they're not particularly good, but it's important to stack wins at this point. And before last week, before they went a 2-game winning streak at State, Texas A&M, they were 1-4, and the sky was falling. Now they're 3-4, and the sky's not falling so much. And if they can get to 500, kind of set the season, you can kind of let the second half of conference play take care of itself. You're kind of on even footing with you're playing against. And, I mean, it can't be understated. I mean, there's going to be people that are talking about, why Ole Miss is having success. Is it because it's coaching a different way? No, I don't think he's coached a different way. I don't think anything's happening other than they shrunk the substitutes and they just said what style they were going to play. Not run. They're going to play very disciplined, hard-nosed ball because that is their path forward. I mean, they've got Arkansas Wednesday. Arkansas is predicted to win 71% predicted win, and that's fine. And is the game in Walton? Yes, it's in Bud Walton. We're at Georgia after that. So, and then Tennessee. So there's a chance that this is the heart of the schedule. Mizzou is on the schedule as well, twice. But you close out with Vanderbilt and Kentucky and have Mississippi State, North Carolina, Auburn, who you traditionally do against. That's a potential for wins. If you get a Georgia or you get an Arkansas, you get one of the Mizzous, all of a sudden you're at a 9-9 season in the SEC. And 9-9 gets you to the dance. It just does. It's one of those old-fashioned type seasons where it's actually difficult to 20-year wins, and those wins actually mean something. So that's kind of fun. Because it wasn't that long ago, like when Rob Evans first took Ole Miss to the NCAA tournament, whenever they got beat and blown out by Temple. The record winning the tournament was like 20-9. Or that's what they finished. They were 20-8. I don't know. But it was a different time. And let's see. Again, I do want to say that y'all can follow the show at the Stephen Willis on Twitter. Facebook.com/POMcast on Facebook. Positively Ole Miss on YouTube. And Positively Ole Miss, all one word, on Twitch. That's, I'm going for those, and those addresses are always on the screen for what's coming. So you'll be in a position where you can make noise. This week we're going to have Chris Thrasher on, and that'll probably be your first real look at what's going on with the channel. I mean, we have to build the show out, but 1-2 shot with everything going on, I think we'll be able to do. And we're hopeful because we have a program that's like specific. It should be enough money for it. Where it's like my little captive little Zoom. And I can do that, and it'll take whoever I send the link out to join Zoom meeting as a separate camera shot. So it doesn't matter. Eventually, we're going to use that to basically get up its post game and stuff like that. That's the plan. And we're going to use it for our correspondence as well. They'll eventually be able to set up basic stand to where they can be seen and they can start their semi-reporting career. But the important thing is that we pick fans. We don't media. We pick fans. Because those are the perspectives we're interested in. Those are the opinions we care about. We don't really care about opinions from people who aren't fans. Because why would you? That'd be like caring about Steve Robertson's opinion. I mean, that's like pretty hardish, you know. And if they know, they don't know. You don't know what they're talking about. They don't know what they're talking about. They spend times not watching what they're supposed to cover. See, it all died for the media. I put air quotes there, the media. Whenever they went away from reporting, that was their job. That was what they were doing. That's why it was unbiased, and everything, you had to be down the middle, and you couldn't be a fan. Is it all reporting? But everything kind of went to opinion-based journalism, and they completely blew by any reporting. They don't do it at all. They do just opinion. Then it's just a whole bunch of bull that don't have any ties really to the university, talking like they're an expert in the university. They're not. They're just as full of shit as everybody else. And the sooner people will realize that the happier they will be, because then you get to walk away from all the anxious feeling where they basically manufacture drama and eventually try to run off coaches and stuff like that. If you take away that power that goal that they're going for, they really don't have any. They're nobodies. I mean, and it's the sad truth. Just because they write for an Ole Miss site does not mean they're an Ole Miss. They're not helping by existing. That's my point. And they're like, oh, that's not their job. Right. Because you are basically like a parasite living off the host of Ole Miss. But eventually, like a parasite, if you kill the host, the site's going to die too. And it's important to remember that and to make follow the sport fun again. Whatever you do, either football, basketball, baseball, whatever you follow, it needs to be fun. It's supposed to be fun. That's why we start following it. We didn't fall for all these anxious feelings for mixed drama. All right, segment 2 in the book, POMcast, Stephen Willis, stick around.
You want to answer that, don't you? I bet it's just killing you, being the glow just inches away. Someone wants to tell you something or ask you something. Oh, come on, answer it already! Just so we're clear, that wasn't my fault. Next time, ignore your inner voice. Don't text and drive. A message from Florida's Choice Independent Insurance Agents.
Hey, this is Steve Willis. I just want you to stick around a little longer. We're going to get back to the podcast right after these messages.
Tonight, nearly 40,000 veterans across the country are homeless. Men and women have pledged to serve our nation, and now we must serve them. Landlords across the country have helped make significant progress in reducing homelessness by making housing available, but there is more we can do to bring our veterans home. Visit www.ea.gov/homeless to see how you can get involved. And if you are a veteran or are experiencing homelessness, please call 877-48-VET. Thank you.
POMcast, Stephen Willis, closing out Monday. Just a reminder, Wednesday or Thursday, we may or may not have a show. I'm getting the chroma key wall paint in my office / Glacial Central Florida Studios. And I may not be able to have the time to do that. One of the days, I don't know which one he'll do this one, but either we'll have it or we will not. But that is the reason why. When we do that, we also, we got some cable coming this week, some adapters so I can hook up my Wirecast in a specific way to make everything a little easier. And that's always been a plan. We've been doing that. We've got the cameras in position, and we got to get them set up. We got to get the lights set up, and we'll be ready to basically soft roll out. If you looked at the innings of what we've put together, it looks fantastic. It looks amazing. It looks like nothing you've ever seen covering Ole Miss sports, which was the point. I mean, if you can hear the amount of pride in my voice, I mean, it's warranted. I had a vision a year ago, and now to see it starting to take shape better than my vision, it's an immense surprise. And I hope everybody enjoys it because, I mean, it's just really neat. And like I said, I have Chris Thrasher going to start this week. We're going to start doing uniform segments. We're going to start whenever we do that. The full launch is in April. Once we launch in April, we can kind of, their directions, because there's several different types of shows I want to do. I mean, around the SEC will obviously be on video. I just have to talk with people about getting their video set up. And, I'm looking at doing a Mississippi High School scoreboard page, depending on who I get to do it. I'm considering a pregame and a postgame show of true fan base. But again, it depends who I can get to do it. And we just want to have fun. I mean, that's the whole purpose of sports. If you are dwelling on stuff and being negative upon negative upon negative, eventually it's not going to be fun and you stop doing it. This is to make it fun again. And I mean, this is terrific. I really look forward to the day where you actually see it. And it also means a lot because it was completely built by me. We don't have a huge production staff like TV stations. So how do you make things look like a TV station quality without in there? And we think we have something neat for you, and it's going to be pretty fantastic. And, of course, follow, share, comment into the stream feeds. Hashtag is POMcast, POMcast. Once we get going, we're going to search all through the POMcast, and we're going to put the best on the screen that's going to rotate, and we're going to answer questions and stuff like that. And, your questions, not necessarily the news show of, I don't want 15 questions of, is Lane Kiffin going to see? I don't want that. I mean, that's silly. It's anxious stuff built by weathermen. What I want is, what do we have to do to get to where we want to be, at the wide receiver position, at the offensive tackle position, stuff like that. That's stuff that is interesting. That is stuff that is helpful. That is stuff that programs need to embrace, and that the fan base embraces it as well. I mean, you've some got some momentum and you can kind of take off, and you don't need to get to the point because, 2015 is our fault too. It's not just Freeze's fault. It's come down in 2015, outlandish, just in your face, and you started bragging about the network and stuff like that. And it was one of those things, like you've been there before. And we really did a poor job of doing that. And it came back at us. I mean, it just did. Podcast and everything is about being happy, having some expectations for your sporting teams. What is attainable? What's real? How do we fix it? How do we move forward? That's what we're about. We're not about dwelling on negatives over and over and over again to where it's just fun. I won't do that. Some people might. Some people are more concerned about what can't you than what need to be done. Anyway, thank you so much for tuning in on Monday. I'm Stephen Willis. This has been the POMcast. Dottie.